Hi, this is Mark. In this video, I'm going to explain why happiness is a function of stress level and also how we define our position relative to this world. Now, we also there's an inverse relationship between our expectation or past a certain limit and our level or degree of happiness. So, if we define this range, let's define this as expectation level. Starts with 0 to some value. So we have your expectation level. So there's a few things that we know. There should exist some limit, upper limit, where the expectation creates too much stress for us to handle and adapt to, and therefore it depreciates happiness. So we can just consider this as like an upper limit. So we'll just say this is a limit upper. But we also know that we need some expectation in this world to survive and get by and get through this and be able to manage our life. So there must be a lower bound. So in between here, we can define as healthy dose, and then outside it's going to be unhealthy. And then here will be unhealthy. So we also know a few things about so we know that stress depends on ability to adapt. So adapt to this world. So essentially, adaptability limits stress. So basically, adaptability limits stress, and therefore adaptability raises the bar of expectation. So this is not an absolute. It's always changing. The limits are changing. So the limit upper, we can push it in this direction. So it can go in this direction, or it may go in this direction. This can go in this direction, or it may go in this direction. So there's always a change. And, this is just showing how what we can do is, based on this, we can create a function. And we can call this, this is expectation level. And this calls like degree of satisfaction. So degree of satisfaction. So basically, when there's an unhealthy dose, the degree should be lower in the expectation. So within the upper bound, within the healthy range, we can have higher degree of satisfaction. So it's be something like this, and depreciates. It's not going to necessarily. So this is like the healthy range. It's going to reach, of course, some peak. So this is healthy. And, of course, it's going to depreciate when the expectation decreases. It's not, of course, going to fall like exactly. This is just a scale. Just kind of showing how, yes, it's going to increase, and then you reach this upper bound where you have a good level of satisfaction. You're within that range, so you can maximize the degree of satisfaction, and then it depreciates. It's kind of also showing how, like with stress as well, like stress is going to be higher within like this range, of course, to here. Stress is going to be higher, and then from here all the way to the end point. So stress. So this is like higher stress, and then so forth in the other area. So this is always altering. This function's not like, okay, it's going to be like this, it's going to be at this rate. Because this is always changing, it's allowing us to manage in this. And basically satisfaction, happiness, basically is derived from mental health, mindset. So a healthy mindset limits stress, and a healthy mindset is content. And the content is what negates really the depreciation due to expectation. When you're content, you know how to get within this healthy limits range. It's easier for you to get within there because it's reasonable. And you don't try to find ways to simplify life rather than complicate. So the key, life does not need to be complicated. So like adding too many variables, so like adding too many variables in short succession promotes stress. So like yeah, if we have like for instance, take a function and we take number of variables and then stress, generally it's going to be a direct relation. So like if the number of variables increases, stress increases, so it's usually going to be low, and then it's going to reach this point, critical point, and then this is like a limit where this is high right here, this is a high stress load. But it always adapts, it always changes. So then we're going to go to adaptation. So now the adaptation ensues, and what ends up happening now to this function, so this function, so number variables and stress. So what ends up happening is now it goes like this. So limit 1, and then this is say this is limit 2. So now we have limit 2 is greater than limit 1. So with this case, we're extending it, and then of course it's going to be high stress load is going to a new limit. But in order to adapt, the progression has to be slow. So to adapt, progression must not change at should not change too quickly. So basically it depends on the rate of change. So it's like depends on rate of change. So of course, if society changes so rapidly, it could induce way more variables like this, like technology and all this, and easily induce stress, and therefore depreciate happiness, and therefore depreciate our ability to stay content, and really destroy our mindset and cause us to go in the negative direction, even when opportunity is more vast, even when we have more possibilities, even when and this. A lot of this has to do with compare contrast. If we just utilize other success as leverage, as fuel the flame, fuel the fire, focus on our own interest within reasonable range, and just start working on mental health, physical health, going out, trying to adapt to as many environments as possible, reading, writing, being creative, getting out there, being productive, always moving, always not comparing your movement relative to others and so forth, then happiness and contentment will follow. The mindset has to be in the right position in order to do this. So yeah, this is just my viewpoint on how to drive happiness. Or, of course, I haven't solved the equation. I haven't solved the problem. I'm still working on it. It's I'm trying to, it's just a refinement process, continuous process. You always eventually learn and learn, and you fall. Every time you fall, it helps liberate the climb. So that's why the negative, is very positive, can become a positive. It's the yin yang of existence. And yeah, that's all I have. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.